Well, so what is Bumo? Well, I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Bumo are the online expert when it comes to spare parts. And the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a large generation model, even then they have the spare part available. They have the entire catalog. And the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. So check them out today. Check out the app. It's available both for iOS as well as Android devices. And also check out the website for the latest schemes as well as offers. Bumo.com, the expert of online. Well, so now I'm inside the cabin of the Maruti Suzuki XL6. Now it's a very dark cabin. It's all black. But it's a very bright cabin in terms of the sense of airiness. Now, how is that possible? Because the distance from the base of the windscreen to your hand, if you stretch it out, is quite a lot. And even if you do this, it's very difficult to reach there. So you get a feeling of airiness and openness inside the cabin, and that's a very positive thing inside any MPV. What you'll also like is the seat comfort. Seats are really generous in terms of the support, the cushioning, and you also get cool front seats on both the seats over here. So that's a very positive feature for people who live in the heat and humidity, which happens in our country a lot. Also, what you like is the quality. Overall quality is quite good, and you get all the features that are necessary at this price point, like you get automatic climate control, cruise control, paddle shifters behind the steering wheel for automatic climate control is there. You also get Apple CarPlay and Auto, and of course you also get a 360-degree bird's eye view camera for the reverse parking. So that's also quite a good touch. That said, though, in terms of the overall cabin experience, this car is definitely behind the Kia Carens. The features list is decent on this car, but it's not as generous or as widespread as it is on the Kia Carens. What's also not good is the touchscreen. I mean, it's decent in its own right, but again, you can't compare it with the one on the Carens, and of course, you don't get any digital cluster for the gauges. Seat comfort is more or less the same, but yes, the features are missing. So what I'm trying to say is that this car has all the essential kit, but it misses out on the kit, which makes you feel luxurious and posh inside the cabin. I'll give this car's cabin a good score of 8 out of 10. How much should we give the Kia Carens? We'll tell you once we sit inside that car. So let's see how the second row and then the middle row is on the XL6. Well, so I'm in the front seat now of the Kia Carens, and if you compare this car with the Maruti Suzuki XL6, the first thing that you'll truly appreciate is the overall plastic quality and the ambience inside the cabin. It really feels like half a segment, or maybe maybe a full segment above. Yes, this car is a little more expensive than the XL6, but it really shows in not only the features but also the overall plastic quality, the ambience. It generally is better than it is on the XL6. Completely digital dials, tire pressure monitors, cool front seats, automatic headlamps, and the works really. So it really is a fantastic car. The touchscreen also is better to operate. It looks a little more fancier, and the interior is also with this dual shade effect. The black on top and the beige at the bottom really looks very nice. The seat comfort also is half a step ahead, and these toggle switches for the AC controls are also quite nice to operate. In short, what I'm trying to say is that the Carens is definitely worth the price. It might be a little more expensive, but it definitely feels more opulent and definitely feels a little more luxurious than the Maruti Suzuki XL6. So the winner of the front seat comparison is clearly the Carens. Now let's jump in the back seat and see which car has more space, comfort, as well as overall opulence. Well, I'm in the back seat now of the XL6, and these seats are almost as generous in terms of comfort as the Innova, or rather the Invicto seats. Yes, these seats are just as good, almost as good actually, as that car in terms of the seat comfort. The cushioning is very good, support for your lower back is good, and this armrest over here really makes do wonders in terms of the seat comfort. You also, of course, there's this little handle where you can, of course, grab it and sit like this. You can move this sit forward, you can take it all the way up, or you can take it all the way back, and there's good amount of knee room, good amount of headroom, a large window, very large window, which makes the cabin again feel nice and bright. The only issue is that the window pane doesn't go all the way down to the sill, it just stops over here. So sometimes when you want to do this and take your head out in the hills and feel like a 1970s hero, you might not be able to do that with this. I don't know why manufacturers don't allow the windows to go all the way down. If you do know, you can let me know. But very nice place in terms of comfort, AC vents as well. The other sore point is that you don't get any USB ports. You get a 12-volt charging socket, but no USB port over here. So that's also something which is missing on this car, and that's a bit of a surprise as well. How is it in terms of the comparison with the Kia Carens? Well, I think the seats are very good actually, and space also is generally very good. And I just think that maybe the Kia Carens is a better match in the second row of seating. I think both the cars are evenly matched, at least in the second row, both in terms of space as well as overall comfort. Now let's see who wins the battle of the last seat. Well, so now in the second row of the current seats. Now this particular version is got the bench seats. It's not got the captain seats like the XL6. So it's not really an apple to apple comparison. But that said, I have to say that the seats themselves are very comfortable, very good support. Underside support is good. You get an armrest, and space also is quite good. You get large windows, which also means that you can easily pull this curtain out here and just doze off to sleep. And you also get your own AC control, the AC vents over here, your own air purifier, and of course a table for picnic. If you're going on a long drive, you can keep some stuff there and keep eating it. In terms of space, in terms of practicality, in terms of the overall comfort and the ambience, I think it's definitely at par with the XL6. It might not have that, this particular version might not have that XL6 like captain seats. Captain seats really are in their own league when it comes to comfort, but this car isn't far behind. So we'll give the back end of these two cars a tie, because this one also offers you good space, comfort, and the ambience also is generally quite good. Now let's jump in the last row and see which car has the better seats at the back. But before I finish, let me just show you that you can also slide these seats forward and move them back, and also move around the backrest angle, just in case you need a little more comfort as well as space. Tie in the second row of seats. Well, I'm in the last row of the XL6, and this second row has been moved in the middle way. It's not completely forward, but it's in the midpoint, and I've got good amount of knee room, surprisingly, which is quite a surprise considering the dimensions of this car. So this car you can generally use as a 6-seater. You can generally use this car as a 6-seater way in the back, so that's something which a lot of you will enjoy. Headroom is quite good, as well as knee room. You also sit quite nicely, so the knee and hip angle might not be at 90 degrees, but it's quite good. You don't sit with your knees close to your ears, and of course you get large size windows over here as well, so the cabin feels nice and bright. One beverage holder here, one over here, and a 12-volt charging point. But how is this car compared again to the other one, the Kia Carens? Now I have to say the Carens has a slight advantage in terms of space overall, and the seat comfort also seems to be marginally ahead. It's not a big difference, but marginally ahead. So really, when you compare the margins, the Carens has a slight advantage in the last row as well. So the first row and the last row, the advantage is with the Carens. The middle row, both these cars are neck and neck. Now let's check out the boots, and then let's get to the driving bits. Well, so I'm in the last row now of the Maruti Suzuki XL6. No, it's not the XL6, it's the Kia Carens. I was just checking if you're paying attention or not. Now, in terms of the space over here, the space is generally quite good. But I've reclined the seat right to its last position. So if I incline it a little bit, if I put it a little forward like this, and I put this one also a little bit forward like this, then you can see even then I've got decent space and some space for the boot, so you can keep a couple of bags over there. Now this car also gets AC vents mounted over here, 2 USBs on both corners, and water bottle holders, so your kids should be quite happy, and large windows as well, so no issues at all. Adults might not really like sitting over long distance journeys. If you're about 5'4", you should be quite okay. So really it's for teenagers who are still growing and not in their full frame. Which one is the better car for last row? I think it's really a tie. Very difficult to choose which car has the advantage. Both of them are nearly identical, and even the boot on both these cars is nearly identical in terms of the usage. So I'll give the last row and the boot a tie. Enough now of the space. Let's get to the driving bits and tell you which car is the better car for keen drivers. Well, so here I am driving the Maruti Suzuki XL6, and I have to say that this 1.5 petrol is really one of the best engines out there in terms of pure refinement, pure performance in terms of the overall peppiness, and of course the ride comfort of this car is also generally very good. It doesn't matter if you're doing slow city speeds or faster highway speeds, this car really offers you a very reassuring ride, a very corsetting ride, and a ride with which you will really enjoy sitting inside all day long. What you'll also enjoy about this car is the steering wheel response. It's a very responsive steering wheel, very communicative, very direct, and it's got the right amount of weight. It's neither too heavy that it starts feeling tired at the end of a long day, and neither is it too light that you start feeling nervous. So it's got the right amount of weight in it. At the highway, you feel very reassuring, you feel very solid in this car, And of course, even driving the city, this car just soaks in the bumps quite well. The travel of the suspension is quite good, so it really does help soak in all those badly patched roads and stuff like that. What you'll also like about this car is the visibility all across is quite good. The mirrors are big. You get a big, windscreen, so you can see the edges, and the cabin also feels nice and airy. It's a big cabin, so it feels nice, bright and airy. The gearbox performance, the 6-speed automatic is very good, very quick responding gearbox, and the manual also is quite good. I think that this car definitely in the manual department is better to drive, or has a better engaging gearbox than the Kia Carens, its main rival. In the automatic, of course, it can't match the dual clutch because no car really in the torque converter gearbox department can match a dual clutch. So there, the Kia has the advantage. In fact, the Kia has the advantage in the driving bits as well as the overall options that it offers with diesels, petrols, turbo petrols, stuff like that. So it has a huge list of variants to choose from. But this one also is quite good. Even if you just want the automatic regular, it's quite nice to drive. Now, it can't be termed a pure driver's car or a keen enthusiast car like the Kia can, but you can enjoy the driving experience. The Kia feels like an SUV to drive. Don't get me wrong. It definitely has a more engaging drive. It has a more sense of urgency when you drive it, and that is two big departments where it has the advantage. Comfort-wise, both these cars are neck and neck. But yes, as I said, when it comes to pure driving pleasure, if you are someone who calls himself a keen driver, you will definitely enjoy the Kia Carens slightly better than this car. Well, so here I am driving the Kia Carens now, and I have to say that when you compare this car with the Maruti Suzuki XL6, immediately there's a big advantage that this car has. Now, what is the advantage, you'll say? Well, the big advantage is that this car has a longer list of options, gearbox options, engine options. You have better variants to choose from. So really, it is a car which has more options to choose from, and that also is something that a lot of people are willing to pay extra for, because they want those extra features, they want that extra bit of kit, they want that little bit of extra feel-good factor which this car offers. So that's something which you have to take in stride. The second thing which you'll really appreciate is the fact that there's a diesel available. It's not only just a petrol-powered car like the XL6, there's a diesel available, so that's also a big advantage. And of course, you also get gearbox options to choose from. Apart from this, one more area where this car feels better is the ride comfort. The ride is definitely ahead of the Maruti Suzuki XL6. It offers you a more pliant ride at the highway, and in the city also it just soaks in the bumps much better. Now, this car might be an MPV, but it has the road presence and the road manners of an SUV, especially the steering wheel. The feedback from the steering wheel is generally good. It doesn't feel overtly light, it doesn't feel overtly heavy, so it's got a right mix of weight in it. And apart from this, what you'll also like is the visibility. Visibility all across is excellent. These mirrors are nice and large. The mirror in the middle over is nice and big, so you can easily see all across. And as I said, the weight on the steering wheel also is quite generally good. Now, what you'll also appreciate about this car is the fact that the overall engine in terms of the performance is good, both the diesel and the petrol. But that's not all. Even this car's refinement is quite good for the diesel. So if you choose the diesel, that's quite good as it is. The Maruti Suzuki does not offer a diesel engine anymore, but if you do choose the diesel on this car, the refinement levels are generally very good. So these are things which definitely make a difference, and these are things which really refinement is quite good for the diesel. So if you choose the diesel, that's quite good as it is. The Maruti Suzuki does not offer a diesel engine anymore, but if you do choose the diesel on this car, the refinement levels are generally very good. So these are things which definitely make a difference, and these are things which really make this car stand out from a sea of other MPVs, especially the XL6. And in short, if I have to keep everything in short, I'll just say that overall, as a product, in terms of driving bits, in terms of ride comfort, and in terms of the outright power, this car is slightly ahead of the Maruti Suzuki XL6. It does feel like a slightly miniature version of the Kia Carnival. It doesn't feel like you're driving just an MPV. It feels like you're driving the SUV version of the Kia Carnival, which has been shrunken down. Thanks guys for watching. We'll stop the cars now, and now we'll give you a summary report with the score sheets of both these cars.